And Silver's come up with a pretty good shot there. He's cleared Rafael's hole.
It amazes me the number of times that when the cue ball hits a ball, it then goes on to hit two other balls that serve some purpose also.
Well, that's all part of looking at the shot, Mike. You're looking where you're sending that object ball, so that you're gonna have it working for you too.
So when my cue ball scratches, that means I wasn't paying attention to where it was supposed to go?
Well, you want to think of where your cue ball. He's not really. He's trying to hit his cue ball dead and let the object balls. He's going to relax in the office while he sends that object ball out to do the work. Rafael's looking to maybe see if he can bank this ball, but he's got a real thin cut on it, so he's got to put a lot of speed on the shot, and that means he can't put the cue ball where he wants, unless maybe he's going to try to go 2 rails out of the corner and then go back up to the far corner where the piece of chalk is up there at the end rail. But when he does that, he lowers his ability to make the crossover bank. He's probably looking at maybe banking the 2 ball, but then he's running in the balls and maybe open something up for Sylver.
I'm used to watching Rafael just hit. I think it's just a function of how tough the match is that I've never seen him play like this at this slow speed.
Do you see him playing a top flight player, or do you see him playing a weaker player when you see him go?
Yeah, well, that must be the case. I mean, he's just he can relate how long he takes to what kind of trouble he's in. Although this time he's not in as much trouble as he has been.
He's not in trouble, but he feels like he has advantage right now, and he's trying to maintain his advantage position. He's looking for a way so that to stay on offense and keep Sylver on defense.
Another thought that's never gone through my head. I'm going to have to... Can you write these down for me?
Yeah, he's trying to maintain his position. He's trying to maintain a winning position.
And you can see how that's important because the game has switched sides so many different times already on one shot.
Yeah, I mean, he could just shoot this 14 ball into the end rail and stop his cue ball there. But then that allows Sylver to go on the offense again. But see, now he's trying to get something back over to his hole, and he's hit the ball real nice. The speed's perfect because Sylver is right on the end rail there. Looks like he's going to maybe try to cross this ball, just get it close, hopefully make it, but he doesn't want to sell his cue ball out. And he sold the 5 ball out maybe. He did get the ball in front of his hole.
He must have thought maybe that 5 ball wasn't makeable from that position.
Well, it just depends on where that 5 ball sits in the side pocket, because I always kind of never pay those shots any mind, but I was watching Efren play up in Las Vegas this year at the U.S. Open One Pocket Championships, and I saw him shoot a shot with what I thought was a sheer scratch, and it wasn't, and then I start practicing it, and sometimes you can make these balls without scratching. Just depends on where the 5 ball is there. So that's what Rafael's looking at. Can he shoot it? And he's determined that he's still giving it a look, I think. Or is he looking at the 9 into the 10 ball? Yeah, he's not just looking to move the 10 ball out of there. I think what he's going to do is play the 9 rail first, hit the 10, cross over, and then try to maybe bank into his hole, and he's going to put him on top of the stack.
Except he can get all the way over.
But instead, he made the 9 and moved the 10 out. But the most important part of the job is that he hit him on top of the stack where he can't make any more balls. I can't tell whether he can see that 10 or not.
I know it's in the tournaments at these levels, that the opponent often puts up the ball on the spot for the other guy. Is that true?
I think it's just whoever's in a hurry to shoot. So I was a little surprised if he could see straight at that ball that he missed that bank. But I think he was trying to play position to make the 13, but if he'd have made that ball, I don't think he would have had any other shots. Rafael's looking to see whether he'll cut this 14 in or not.
Usually when I see a match this long, it's because all the balls are up table. Here, the balls have stayed mostly down table, and yet it's still been a cat and mouse all the way through.
Well, they were down table, then they went up table, but they brought them back down table real fast. These guys want to make it happen. They have a lot of confidence in their ability to shoot, and they don't want to just bunt balls and play safe. They want to win the match, come with some great shots, and win the match. They want to put pressure on their opponent, make him crack. I think Rafael can kick into this 10 ball, but the only problem is he's going to sell out a bank on the 14 maybe straight bank or bank the 14 into the stack and open some balls up on Sylver's. So he's looking at something else, and he's going to just make the 6 and freeze Whitey right there.
Now, do you categorize that as a waiting shot, or is there something to his advantage in doing that?
It's kind of a waiting shot. He's going to make the important thing is he didn't foul there. So Sylver could do a waiting shot by just touch the ball and see what Rafael's going to do from there. But he's not going to be passive like that. He's going to try to shoot something towards his hole. But see, looks like he's going to make the 5 and then try to freeze him on top of the 1 or 9 ball right there. And he's done that. But you see, it doesn't look like much has changed, but a little bit has changed now. There's a little bit different look out there, and now Rafael has some different options than he had in the past position. So he's got his favorite 2-rail shot. Maybe he can 2-rail this 5 to the hole and just draw back into the 10 ball. And I think that's what he's going to do here. He's going to try to either make the 10 or get the 10 out of there. Because these are tight pockets. He's not worried too much about scratching. That shot's not really good on a loose pocketed table. And he's been rewarded because he made the 5 ball there. But again, it's important for the younger players, the beginning players, that the shot that he shot right there to move into the 10 ball on big pocketed tables, you're going to scratch more than you're going to not scratch, and scratching is no good in that position. So Sylver's got to feel pretty good here because it looked like Rafael was going to win the game from there. He's got 5 balls, 1 in front of his hole, but Sylver, he's still in the game right here. He can maybe bank the 14. He can make the 10. He can shoot the 14 into the 10. I think he's going to try to bank the 14. Nope.
That's another beginner thing. When I was just starting to play, I was always giving up. When things looked bad towards the second half of the game, I was basically shooting and giving up. The thing I'm finally starting to learn is you don't necessarily have to lose if you're behind in the second half of the game.
No, you don't have to. You have to be like Papillon and tell him, I may be out in the middle of an island on a raft of coconuts, but I'm still here, you bastards. As long as you're still alive, you got a chance to get off of Devil's Island,
Wow, that's good to remember. I don't know if I can do that voice, though.
I watched that movie a lot, so I practiced the voice. Okay, so Rafael's got to go to work again. There's nothing really out here. He doesn't want to sell out, and he's got let's see, 9 balls. He's got 6. So he needs 2, and Sylver needs 8. But he doesn't want to open these balls up where Sylver can go to run on them if he throws in a bank or something. So he's looking around, trying to figure out what he wants to do.
Now, do you ever see beginning players, they're up 6-0, 6-0, and they're taking this much time to figure out a shot? I mean, they're just usually firing at this point to end the match.
Well, they're going to be firing in this match, but one of the things too is it makes it important is that this is a tournament play, and so they can't just re-rack them and pay off the guy. But see what he's done here. He's given Sylver a shot at the 1 ball, where Sylver can get on either the 2 or the 8, and then he can start running balls. He can make, if he gets on those 2 or 8 good, he can get to 13, the 6. Now all of a sudden he is way back in this match.
Now, he must have thought that 1 ball was going to go across table.
Yeah. And so he made a mistake there. When he had other shots that he could have maybe given a little something up, he tried to play a bigger shot. And you see the Sylver, who's been sleeping, he's been dormant. All of a sudden, it's time to make a shot, and he knows there's going to be a lot of reward. And so he's really focused, and he comes with that championship shot to make that ball, really tough 1 ball, and he's gotten on the 13. And so now he's going to make this 2 and try to get on a 6, but he wants to go, where am I going to go after I make the 6 ball? What am I going to get into? So he needs to play position on the 2 ball to get on the 6 to play on another ball. He's got to don't just wind up on the 6 and then go, well, where am I going to go now? And so what it looks like he's going to do is make the 6 and then 2-rail the ball that's closest to the rail that he's at, and then try to stick him on the 7 ball. Oh, no, he's just going to 1-rail it.
Sure would be nice to be able to shoot and know you're not going to miss the shot. When does that part come along?
That part comes with practicing your mechanics so that your stroke is consistent. And so if you know the shot, you're just gonna let the shot happen, and then you're gonna use your brain to figure out where you want your cue ball to go.
That's an okay result there.
Yeah, I can't tell whether he's probably going to be able to masse this ball. No, it looks like he can shoot straight at it. And so now the score is 6-5, Rafael. It looks like he's just going to cross this ball over to his side and go back down table. And they're going to jockey around trying to see if they can get some kind of kick, double bank or something like that. Something where they can leave their cue ball on the up table and send the ball to their hole. What they don't want to do is make a ball so that it spots up just yet.
I've watched Sylver play, and I know he's a fiery competitor, but it's interesting to me that Rafael has routinely given him the shot from hell, and he just takes it, gets up there and shoots, and on to the next shot. I mean, there's no frustration or emotional outburst after someone puts a great shot on you time after time. You just keep playing.
Well, he's he's a young man, but he's been playing pool a long time, and he's been playing top flight pool a long time. So he's used to having people put him in bad positions, and he's used to overcoming it. Now you see, Rafael got a little over aggressive there. He thought he could keep his cue ball on the end rail, but looks like he's sold out the 10 ball. He's got the ball close to his hole, but Sylver looks like he's going to make this ball and try to roll down and then cross this 3 ball. First, you got to make this ball. So let's see what he's going to do here. Not always a easy shot when you're that close to the ball and length of the table straight in on tight pockets. But he got it in. So 6-6. This is a little low right-hand English with a real thin hit. And didn't get it. You gotta watch out for the scratch in the side pocket on that shot and scratch 2 rails in the corner on that shot. So even though Sylver's got this ball in front of his hole, you see Rafael, he's not even looking at that ball right now. He's trying to figure out how he can do something offensive here, or some way that he can move this ball to his hole. He's looking like maybe he's going to try to bank the 3 ball or the 7 ball to his hole and go side rail, end rail, and get behind the 3 ball. That's what it looks like to me he's looking at. So he's going to play with low right. Well, I guess he was trying to bank the ball into the hole. Now he's giving Sylver a little bank shot with position to win the game.
Wow. Rafael was up 6-0 3 shots ago. And now he's about pretty close to losing.
Yeah, and he had that position where he gave up those balls. He had a lot of shots that he didn't have to give up, open the balls up, and he shot a shot that opened all the balls up and allowed Sylver to get back in this match and to be on the winning side of it right now because he's got 2 balls by his pocket.
Oh, it's not over yet. Let me take that back.
So he's got a couple shots here. He can just move it out, or he can try to kick 2 rails behind it and move it over to his pocket, or 2 rails and move it up by the side pocket. He was trying to make it. Very tough shot, but he got it real close. He hit it fairly good. Tough shot for Sylver. He's jacked up on the end rail, coast to coast. Got to shoot this ball away from the pocket without making it or hitting the jaws or scratching with his cue ball.
Ooh.
Or getting the double kiss like that. Anytime you see a double kiss like that, you know something's bad happened for the shooter. And what's happened bad is he's sold out like almost a dead-on bank. He doesn't have to work the ball or anything. He can just roll it in. And it looks like he should have had Wheaties for breakfast because he didn't get it to the hole.
Man, Rafael leaving it short.
Yeah, that was his game nugget, and he didn't get it there.
He didn't have to worry about the other ball.
So there's 2 balls left. Rafael's got a 7-6 lead, so he is happy with that 15 ball sitting up there in the pocket because until that ball gets out into play, there's no way that Sylver can win this match. So he's just going to be happy just playing with this 1 ball. He just shot a 5-railer, and it went a little bit long, and he sold out a pretty nice bank to Sylver. Now, this shot right here, Sylver can cross this ball, and he can go up and try to make the 15 ball in the corner at the same time, so that if he makes the 3 ball, then he'll have a shot to win the game.
Another thought that never crossed my mind.
But he didn't play that way. He just played straight cross.
Oh, that was the why. Wow, what a game.
Well, turns out I had the score wrong.
That was a longish game for two guys who really shoot. You don't notice them play that long a game.
Well, they shoot, but they made some shots to their hole, some banks and stuff, and they didn't go in. They got real close because they're tight pockets, and they didn't go in. If those balls would have went in, the game might have been over a little faster. But because they hung up, and both of them are so good at their shot making that they can, that they could get out of the traps, and it extended the game for a long time. But you can see that game was, after they battled and battled and battled, that game was for Rafael to win, and he gave that game away in that one particular shot. And so a lot of times you look back on a game when you're playing in one pocket and you go, where did I lose this game at? And if Rafael would watch his tape, he would say, I lost it right here.
Well, that was sort of an ultimate example of that, too, because all the balls were tied up. He had to loosen up the balls. He not only had to loosen up one group, he had to loosen up two groups. And for Sylver to come back, and he sort of did an ultimate bad shot that you can do in that situation.
Yeah, it's like he built the gallows so he could hang himself,
He did pretty good at it, too. I've watched Rafael over the years, and he's one of my favorite players because of how he plays, but that's what people always say about him. He's liable to do that after 4 great shots in a row, do something that would have been a great shot if it worked, but when it doesn't, he loses.
Yeah, that's the problem with the great players is you see them make so many great shots. They go, well, I've made this shot. I know how to make this shot. And sometimes you get out too far on the edge of the cliff and you fall over.
Yeah, I fall over the cliff almost every day at bullshooters. San Jose Dick says man overboard. That's pretty much what it is.
That's not a cliff with you. That's just a sidewalk. So they're taking a break here. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're going to the game number 2 after that long first game. They had to take a break after that one. That was really a difficult one, especially for Rafael, losing when he had it in his hands. The good news is he gets the break.
Yeah, and he's decided he likes that pocket, so he's going to break that way. I don't know which way he normally breaks, but he doesn't see anything wrong with the pocket that he's shooting at, and he's made a bad break there.
Wow. Man overboard is right.
Now, the first thing you want to do is just run up here and just shoot this 2-ball in, and then you look and you go, well, I can't make anything else. And so a lot of times what you need to do is stand back and look and go, what's the advantage I'm going to gain here by making this 2-ball? And so I think that Sylver should take a look a little bit better than what he's doing right here. I don't know where he's going to go after he makes the 2-ball. I guess he's going to try to go into the stack and then get on the 13. But he's left himself like jacked up. He's got to spin the ball to get any kind of position.
What are you supposed to do there? I often try to get into the stack from there, and
I think actually, Mike, what you're supposed to do is I think you stop and look a little bit better at what's going on. I think really the thing to do is maybe to kick that 10-ball away from before he shoots the 2-ball. The 2-ball's hanging in his hole. Yeah. Before he shoots the 2-ball, he should get over there and kick that 10-ball away from Rafael's pocket, and he's still got the 2-ball sitting in his hole, and he's forcing Rafael to try to do something, because 2 balls here ain't going to win the game for him. And what he's done is he's stripped his country of any kind of resources over there. Now look at his whole side is empty, and Rafael's got 5 loose balls on his side.
Right.
Well,
I think he felt he was going to drop down off the stack, so he had a better angle on that ball.
Yeah.
But it's still a stack. You don't know.
Yeah. He may have gotten a little unlucky, but I see that happen all the time playing one pocket, and that's, to me, is the usual position, that you're not going to get more than 1 or 2 balls out of there. whereas he's completely lost. He has given up the initiative to Rafael because now he's got to start moving balls away from Rafael's pocket, and he doesn't have anything on his side, and Rafael has a lot of ways to get balls towards his hole because he's got open balls on his side. And Rafael's got to feel real good right now. You know, he only got away with it. He only gave 2 balls. That's nothing. There's plenty of balls to be made, and he's going to come to the table here again. Whereas when he sold out, I bet he thought, "Oh my goodness, what have I done?" Thought he'd lost the game on the first shot. It looks like he's trying to bank this 9 and use low right-hand English to go to the rail, and no, that's not.
Oh my.
Nope, he was trying to move several balls and had unexpected collisions.
I guess that's what happens if one of those great shots doesn't come off.
Yeah, you see now, how is this? This is the second inning. Rafael comes up. He's looking at making a ball to play position, and how if Sylver would have stopped and moved the 10 ball away from his pocket, he could have left Rafael sitting in his own pocket with no balls that go in his hole, and Sylver would still have 2 balls by his side, and he would have a ball in his pocket, you know. Instead, now he's about to lose this game. If this combo goes, I think that might just be a little bit of inexperience on Sylver's part. I mean, he's played a lot of one pocket, but after, 20, 30 years of one pocket and leaving yourself stuck on the stack, you start to look for those other ways instead of just running 8 and out every time you come to the table.
Now, one thing I noticed at the U.S. Open this year is that how many bad breaks there are over the course of a session. There's, and it's amazing to me because you shoot the same shot every time, yet some pros will scratch or.
Well, I think a lot of the bad breaks at the U.S. Open one pocket were due, and Rafael, he's just completely scrambled them up, and he's going to give it right back over to Sylver.
Oh God, the opposite of the last game.
But getting back to the breaks is that those diamond tables historically, to me, have sold out the corner ball with new cloth. Just all the tournaments that I go to with diamond tables, they're always selling that corner ball out. Whereas it seems like Brunswick's are a little bit, for whatever reason, the balls don't settle, or they don't sell out the corner ball as much.
What happens when they scratch on the break? I mean, what's the thing that occurred to cause that to?
Well, they also use the measles ball up there at the U.S. Open too, with the aramith balls, and I think it's a little different kind of ball than people are used to. Just that fine little difference in the spin and the slide and the way that the measles ball reacts with the aramith balls makes a difference in what's going to happen on the break. Looks like Sylver's going down to bank to 13. So 3, 6, 9, 10. He's got 5. That makes 6, I believe. Now he's going to bank that with a little speed because he doesn't want to just lag it to his hole and sell out a cross bank. So he's going to be happy with having 6 in his hole and Rafael with 1. He's got a little problem. He's got to kind of twist this ball with a little English to make it open up. And it looks like he wasn't trying to make it. He was trying to stick him right on top of that one ball and get the ball real close. So he played with a nice slower speed to try to get Sylver in a little trouble there. But he didn't freeze him on the ball, and when you don't freeze him on the ball, you give the guy a chance.
Usually, when Sylver shot, you see these guys. They get that ball covered. You know, you don't let Rafael see that. Is that the 10 ball that just went across?
Yeah. That's a little skill you got to practice, is moving your cue ball a little bit and sticking them right on the ball. It looks natural, but it's a lot harder than you think it is. But you take a little time to practice it, and it pays off big dividends for you. So I'm not real sure what he was trying to accomplish there. He's got him stuck on the balls, but Rafael's going to bank something back down towards his side of the table. Rafael really doesn't want to move that 1-8 right now because it kind of banks towards his hole, but it doesn't go in Sylver's hole. So he's going to bank this 10 ball and try to stack him up on the 9 or the 12 ball.
Wow, he banked it to the back rail. I thought he was, a 2 rail or something to move it down there.
Well,
that's quite a cut to get.
It's hard to commentate when Rafael's, because you think you get an idea what he's going to do, and he just goes somewhere else. It looks to me like Sylver was trying to bank that 9 so it separated the 8 and 1 and kept the 9 ball on his side. But he sold out a cross bank to Rafael.
That goes in. It didn't go in.
Yeah.
It's in good shape.
Yeah, you'd expect that Rafael would make that 10 out of 10 times. But tight pockets and with the crowd in there changes the humidity on them rails, and it makes the banks come up a little bit different. They change.
Well, I saw Rafael play Scott Frost earlier or later in this tournament, and same thing happened. He played a really good first game and had Scott, and then somehow gave it up at the end and Scott won, and then he just struggled the rest of the way out. It seems to me there's a lot of emotion come up in this game.
Yeah, I think that he has been known as a very emotional player, and sometimes that gets the best of you.
Got a second try though. He made.
Yeah, you give that guy 2 shots at that bank, he's going to beat you out of it every time.
So Trace, has emotion ever got you out of a match? Or?
Yes, I'm human. I got a belly button. Everybody's human is falling to it. But that's one of the things you try to work on. You try to work on staying in control of your emotions. The good ones and the bad ones. I mean, when you're feeling too good because you're winning and stuff, that can be a detriment too. You have to find that nice smooth area where you can maximum performance.
Well, personally, I've never gone on tilt in a pool match, so I wouldn't know. Doesn't have room for a 2-railer there.
No, it looks like the score is 6-2. Sylver.
Whoa.
Look out.
I love those tight pockets. What do you do in this situation? What is your game plan from here if you're Sylver? I have trouble with this particular.
Well, he's just trying to put all these balls together, and he's got a 6-2 lead. He's trying to
group them then?
He's trying to tie them up and simplify. He's trying to simplify the game so that he doesn't have to look out, for a myriad of different shots. He just wants to focus on one or two balls being out there that he can move them around and so that Sylver can't come with something crazy and beat him. And when all these balls are up table and tied up like this, he can't. He can only take them one at a time. Well, if he takes them one and Sylver takes one and Rafael takes one and Sylver takes one more, then he wins the game.
Yeah.
And Rafael's goal is to open them up and get them back down table. And so he's got the one back down table, but his cue ball wound up back down table too. So you're looking at trying to get, balls that'll 2-rail or 3-rail, or balls that you can kick 2 or 3 rails.
So you're trying to nudge balls into your bank paths?
Yeah. You're trying to clear a bank path, or you're trying to nudge balls so that they become dead. Maybe you can bank them dead or kick them dead. That's what they're. And you're trying to not to leave them so that your opponent can do that. You're trying to work them into an area that's favorable to you. But I think that the most successful way of getting the balls, if you're in Rafael's position, is you need to find a way to break one ball out and stick them behind a ball where he has to move another ball and can't move that loose ball out. Once you get one out, then you can start getting them all out. But until you can get one out, he'll just keep moving them away. And so what Rafael would like to do was maybe get a shot to 3-rail that 9 ball to his hole and stick him behind all those balls.
Now, keeping them a distance really doesn't help that much in this.
Well, what it does is the distance is when a guy's trying to thin balls, sometimes they miss the ball and the cue ball winds up someplace that they didn't expect. They miss the ball and foul, or they hit the ball. The distance causes errors, and maybe you're going to get a guy where he's going to have to spot a ball up.
Wow.
Okay, so now what he's done here is he's got a ball loose to his hole, and what can Sylver do? Doesn't look like he can get it, but he has, it looks to me like that 10-15, he might be able to move the 15 towards his hole and bank the 10 towards his side and maybe stick him on the 1 ball. But I can't tell what he's going to do here. But you see now, Rafael got 1 ball out, and he stuck him behind the balls, and now there's 2 balls out. So is he able to take advantage of it? If that 10 ball hadn't frozen on the rail, he'd have been able to cross bank him, and he might have had a little something working. But because the 10 froze up, he's in a little trouble there. Maybe I was going to think maybe he would try to 5-rail this ball, but he has to get on the other side of the side pocket. That's not good. I'm not sure what he's going to do. So he was able to cross bank it, and he's got 2 balls to his hole now.
When I'm in that or near that position, I'm always trying to cross bank every time. Is there a time when cross banking is a sucker play, or there's sometimes they're harder than others, and I'm starting to believe that maybe I should shoot them every time because sometimes I get in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of times if the ball's frozen, it's hard. It's hard to cross bank them, or if the ball and the pocket and the cue ball are all in the same line, a lot of times you'll see a scratch on that, or you'll see a double kiss on that. But so now Sylver's got a little trouble to get out of, but when he gets out of it, he's going to allow Rafael to maybe move another ball into play. And he's had a real nice shot there. But he's given up the cross bank, and you see that the one ball's in play. Like if Rafael can make this cross bank on the 10, maybe into the 5, or make the 10 straight, he also may have the ability to make the one ball in the corner. But you see how just getting one ball out and hiding him makes more balls be able to come out and play. So when the balls are all tied up in the corners like this, that's what you're trying to do, is get one ball out into play, not necessarily super close to your pocket, but in your little 2x2 corner down there, and stick and hide the cue ball, and then you'll be able to start moving balls to your hole.
And if you're ahead, you don't mind, for a while at least, taking those one-on-one game or one-ball games, and because you might win one.
Yeah. There's just no pressure. You're just comfortable.
Oh.
All the pressure is on the guy that's trying to make something happen.
So did Rafael try that?
I think he got pretty lucky there.
Lucky and unlucky.
Lucky and unlucky. But now it's 6-3. Looks like maybe he's going to 2-rail this ball and then try to stick him over on those 3 balls by the side rail. No, he just 1-railed and did the same thing.
He really cuts back the ball. I mean, a lot of times I'm thinking, well, he's going to 2-rail it. He just cuts the heck out of it, back up, back down. It's because he spins the balls and shit.
Well, I don't think he had any spin on that shot. Maybe if he did, he just had a little bit of reverse. Now Sylver can relax again because he's got 2 balls on his side, and Rafael doesn't have anything that goes over there. So Rafael's got to go back to work and start manufacturing some offense. Now Sylver's got a ball out here he can bank, but he's going to run into those balls. If he don't make it, he sells out of bank. So he's just going to elect to play a little soft shot over there. Almost had a little scratch in the side, so you got to pay attention of how you're hitting that ball and where your cue ball is going to go after that shot. I'm pretty sure that Rafael had looked at that and that knew that the 9 ball wasn't going to go in the corner, because if it had, he'd have sold out a spot shot bank.
I think this is the part of the game where the anti-one pocket players complain about. This is what they don't like about one pocket, this part of the game. But from what I can tell, the aficionados of one pocket really like this part of the game. They think it's fun. I haven't got to that level yet.
No, the aficionados of one pocket don't think this is fun. The thing is that the one pocket community hasn't figured out yet how to overcome this position.
Yeah.
But with as many people playing one pocket as there are today, people are going to come up with some concepts and some ideas of, like what I was talking about with getting one ball out,
Right.
with those kind of concepts, and they're going to overcome this. But this is, this goes to show you how much easier it is to play defense than it is offense. I mean, anybody can just bunt the ball. That's an easy shot. offense is so much harder to be able to, send this ball, what is it, like 18 feet and get it that close to your pocket. I guess the analogy would be is like it's easy to stand behind a castle wall with a bow and arrow than it is to stand and have to run across the moat and storm the castle. That's the offense.
Yeah.
Right now, he's looking at the castle up there.
And the aficionados or the long-time one-pocket players, they really hate those guys that charge the castles. Have you noticed that? They're really down on those guys, even though they have the advantage in some respects. What's that guy shooting at me for? You can't shoot that. Get on the other side of the moat.
No, I'm just saying that it takes, you have to have a lot more skill to be able to take a castle than you do to have to defend a castle.
Right. And what I was saying, the old-time players sometimes don't have respect for those people that can do it.
Ah.
Because they're not playing.
Wow, that's a tough little scratch there.
One pocket.
So now Sylver goes back to 5, so that would make the score 2, 4, 6, 7, 5-3.
Oops.